I spent the last 10 years never being able to complete any game. I'd always start games I was interested in, rather begrudgingly. I don't hate games. In fact, I'd go as far as to say, I look forward to the idea of playing them. Then I actually sit in my chair after I just spent 70 to 100 plus euros, and I look at the opening screen and I'm like, damn, this is my life now, huh? With my adult and childlike brain constantly battling each other, I came to the conclusion that I need to switch off my brain to truly enjoy what I'm playing. And a game that can make me just forget everything and be completely absorbed? Well, is it crazy for me to say that games with shit music can instantly be labeled as trash? Am I crazy for saying that? Am I? Regardless, I think we can all agree that a game with a stellar soundtrack that manages to capture the feelings its narrative is trying to portray can not only elevate the user experience, but honestly, bruh, it basically puts you on cloud 9 floating. I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't played many games with music that perfectly incorporates the game's body of work and still not drop it, but I will say that I have a preference. And hey, maybe the next guy might hop on the game and think the soundtrack is nothing special. But for me, the chilling, atmospheric vocals, reminiscent of French mixed with Japanese, tied with the dystopian, airy harmony that switches between despair-ridden, with tiny cusps of hope, or even the powerful yet still elegant compositions in the crescendo of a boss fight, all composed by Keiichi Okabe, just does it for me. 1 second, you're grappling with yourself to hold back the tears when you enter what feels like the tower that's going to change the output of the game. Next, you're in a paper-mache labyrinth, engaging with one of the coolest looking bosses, by the way. Then you're riding a wonderful, colorful, dystopian roller coaster and fighting a puppeteer boss that matches that theme perfectly. Did I even need a game to imagine all that? For me, both gameplay and difficulty kinda correspond or align with each other. Being able to perfectly balance both in a unique way, where it rewards players for the time they put into the game, is a defining trait on whether I'm going to actually like a game or not. I'm sure there are some players who don't mind playing the game on easy or normal, and are just there to enjoy the story. But for me, I need something that can, work my muscles a bit, to make me feel as if I'm in a world that's truly difficult to survive in. And mashing square to win fights ain't gonna do that for me. So imagine me when I found a game that perfectly incorporates a wide margin of skills and abilities, that test high-level players by using them all creatively at the highest difficulty level, without feeling cheap or artificially created. There are 100 ways to beat each boss or enemy, based on how you choose to build or fight with your character. At least for 2B and 2A. Bosses feel like difficult mountains to climb at the highest difficulty, where each second I spend on a boss feels rewarding, whether I hit that replay option or not. So to put things into context, I don't know why, but for some reason I didn't think to just grind levels. So I got to the point where things like that just instantly killed me. But I still took the time to look up extremely skilled players that mastered the gameplay mechanics for NieR. And honestly, felt disappointed in myself for giving up and not truly trying to up my gameplay mechanics. This game has an extremely high skill ceiling, and if you can master it, bro, you're gonna feel like a fucking android. There are many great videos ranging from character pieces to multiple hour philosophy guides on the nature and depth of the NieR Automata story. Sadly, this video isn't going to exceed 10 minutes, that's just how it is. Created by a man that loves to wear a trademark helmet, littered all over the game by the way. Yako Taro's other works, Guard, or even NieR Replicant all have very similar story progressions, even if the overall themes can be slightly different. I love stories that can be interpreted differently and aren't as in your face with the meaning of the story. Kinda like the thumbnail if you clicked on it. The morals of the story are all grey and there's never a person that's truly right or wrong. And if there is, there's always a reason. You can spend ages thinking or even replaying boss fights and still somewhat sympathize with enemy characters every single time. Then, there's the overarching theme of the game that reared its head at just about every moment. Despair. Despair at the hopelessness of mankind.
Is this a curse? Or some kind of punishment? I often think about the god who blessed us with this cryptic puzzle, and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him.
Constantly, over and over and over again. You see characters designed inhumanly experience this emotion as they break down when their reasons for living, truth, or in NieR's terms, God, disappears. There is no salvation. No hope. That was my conclusion when I finished ending C and D. I honestly don't know how to explain what I was feeling at this point. We had spent the entirety of the game only losing things. Hopeless and in trepidation that, no matter how hard you try, you can never overcome humanity's base weaknesses. Then, a pod joins in. Then another. Then another. Funny really. The only other piece of media that made me feel just as strongly, and they both have very similar themes and messages. I could have picked any thumbnail to help the algorithm on this video, but in a hopeless situation where you think there's no meaning in your own existence, or even the existence of anything in general, NieR Automata tells us that it's okay. It's okay to hope. It's okay to believe. Because that's truly the one thing that separates us from a nihilistic, empty existence.
How is it going?
I am embarrassed.
Why is that?
I launched a suicide attack, and yet, here I am, still alive. I must look very silly.
Do not feel bad about it. We are alive, after all. And being alive is pretty much a constant stream of embarrassment.
That concept is a bit too abstract for me to understand at this time. I will save it in my list of things to analyze later.
Question, Pod042. Did the data salvage restore all of their past memories?
Yes.
And are those recovered parts of the same design as previous ones?
Yes.
Then, won't that simply lead us to the same conclusion as before?
I cannot deny the possibility. However, the possibility of a different future also exists. A future is not given to you. It is something you must take for yourself.